time for Mind Over Money, a newly branded weekly broadcast by two of today's up-and-coming internet marketers involved with My Lead System Pro, Leland Best and Julie Becker. With their fresh insights, you'll discover that it's not so much about the money as it is the mind over the money. So with that being said, let's move on with today's topic for discussion. Today, Leland and Julie are joined by their special guest, Ashley Hendricks, an L1 leader at My Lead System Pro who capitalizes on Facebook marketing. Let's tune in to our show already in progress. Oh yeah?
Yeah, I FaceTime, but it's usually just like a personal thing, and usually the only people I ever get to be face to face with are prospects and teammates that are overseas on Skype.
Oh, okay, cool.
So,
well,
this is very cool.
This is something Julie and I have just started to put together after our 100-day Biz Builder Challenge. I don't know if you got a chance to see our first production, but it was kind of a little mind explosion. We figured we'd try it out and see what we could do with everybody. So,
cool.
Let me just touch with everybody outside. This is Leland Best with Best at Last. We're going to do a little Mind Over Money program here today for you, and we've got a special guest along with Julie Becker and myself. We have Ashley Hendricks, who is a L1 MLSP senior member, you might say, out there doing her thing out on the network marketing scene. So, Ashley, thanks for coming and meeting with us today. We do appreciate it.
Happy to be here.
All right, great. I think we put it together so that Julie has a specific line of questioning for you. I'm just going to kind of take it easy on you for a little bit. I'm not going to be force-feeding anything. We've got about 15 or 20 minutes. We wanted to sit down with you and just pick your brain a little bit and get some mindset perspective from you and how you got to where you are in this business, because you're obviously one of those folks that have gone the extra mile, and I saw you just hit you won some kind of challenge that you were involved with over at your primary?
Actually, yes. Here, let me move this real quick. You can't really see anything here. Okay, cool. This is my dog Rosie, by the way. Yes, I actually did. I won a challenge. We have it was going to be a 50-day challenge, but we started late. So we have a 42-day challenge that we're running in the primary company, and it's a points-based accountability tracker, much like we have in the 100-day Biz Builder Challenge, and for not just exposure points and so on, but actually for enrollment points, I beat everyone in the challenge last week. So
awesome.
Yeah, I got 3 people enrolled in a day, so it was a
that's
good
incredible.
day.
Great job. Well, Julie, you go ahead and take it from here. I know you've got a list of things you wanted to talk to her about, so I'll stick my nose in there when I need to and see what's going on in her world as we go along, and maybe I'll jot down some things I want to ask. So.
Sure. Well, one of the things I know that when Leland and I had talked about interviewing people, and for people that may be watching this and don't know what we're involved in, the 3 of us are internet marketers. We're leaders in that field. We all have different businesses that we are involved in and promote, but we all came together through a company called My Lead System Pro, and that's how we met each other. And that is basically a wonderful training platform for marketers. Network marketers really flock to it because it's got a lot of great training for getting you in touch with people via different marketing methods like Facebook and Twitter and blogging. So that's how we all got in contact with each other, and we really wanted to share valuable information with people out there about what we're doing. And so Ashley is a leader in My Lead System Pro. She's an L1 leader, and I had a chance to talk with you about this the other day, Ashley, but I would love for you to elaborate on a little bit more for people who may not know how you got involved with MLSP.
Well, I thought that I had an odd story, and the more I meet people, I find that this actually is not the case, that it's actually kind of common. I had thought about getting into network marketing, but knew that I didn't want to limit myself to my local and warm market, and so I went on the internet in search of basically a way to take any network marketing company effectively to the internet, and of course that led me right to MLSP, and that was before I ever actually selected a primary company. So I got in and just started learning and saw just the absolute value there, and all of the different avenues that you could pursue, just kind of depending on where your strong suits are, where your passions are, and really just kind of pick one thing and run with it, which is what I did.
So then, Ashley, did you do a lot of research in this market for this particular type of program and tool or work tool that you could use, or was this something you kind of just stumbled upon and it showed up out of the blue?
I did a lot of research. I was in very heavy research mode just because, like a lot of people, looking into this industry in the first place who've never been involved, I was very highly skeptical. So I did a lot of poking around in forums, kind of learning the who's who and, who's doing what, who's real, who's had success and things like that. And I kept saying MLSP, MLSP, MLSP. And eventually went through YouTube and started finding leaders who would actually post their trainings and things like that, and wound up signing up through one of them.
Great. And I think everybody should do their homework when it comes to anything network marketing. If you don't, you're going to be liable to fall into the traps that are out there. There are a lot of negative marketers. We can't deny that. But the one thing that we find real interesting about MLSP is that the people and the core community that's involved with this group are so much onto the purest stance of mindset, challenging yourself, building yourself, growing yourself, and being the person that's accountable to those that are under you. So that's what drew me in. And Julie, I think you mentioned somewhat similar to the same, but with regard to where we want to take this, we're still growing. And I'll ask one question. How did you get to L1, Ashley? Did it take you a long time? And is this some, could you explain to the people what the L1 leader is?
Well, L1 is really the first leadership rank that you can achieve with an MLSP. I want to say it's, gosh, I'd have to go back, but it's something like 15 or so points that you get, and that's based on the people who are enrolled on your team, either at the Academy Gold, Platinum, or Mastery level. I actually advanced very quickly when I started promoting. However, I had been a part of MLSP for the better part of, I don't know, 9-10 months before I even started promoting it. I used it solely as learning and networking for my business up until that point. But by then, I had established some really great relationships, had built a substantial knowledge base and skill set for myself, and was able to go and really offer a great deal to my team.
That's great information for people because some people may not know the different facets of MLSP and what it has to offer. And I love that you just said that because it is a place, like we mentioned, it is a training platform. A lot of people come in to learn how to reach people through different avenues, which is really important. And then there is the aspect of it where you can use it as an affiliate program. You are rewarded when people come, when you share the value of MLSP with people, and then they sign up, and you're rewarded with a commission for that, and so it helps you, fund your methods and your primary business that you're working on. And I think it's great to point that out because it has something to offer for a wide range of different people. One of the things I love about your story, it's not is that you do Facebook marketing. We all have different specialties here. I know Leland focuses on video marketing. I love doing blogging, and you do the Facebook method, and it's amazing to me. It's like a whole new world that is opening up, and you do it so well. Ashley did a great training for us, but I was wondering if you could just give a breakdown, just a really high-level overview of what your process looks like with Facebook. How did you get started with it, and kind of, what do you do to get in contact with people with Facebook? How do you do your Facebook marketing?
Well, for me, even from the beginning, engagement and connection are the absolute name of the game. You obviously need to be connected to people, and quite honestly, it's a quality over quantity thing. When I connect with new people, I immediately do what I can to get on the telephone with them and actually establish some rapport outside of the online space. That's that's my formula essentially for using Facebook. It's not really anything other, and really using the internet to market in general is nothing other than a way for you to get your message and yourself out, your reach out to more people. And so yeah, I mean, my focus has been entirely on growing my network, and that's what it was in the beginning because I used my personal page. No paid advertising, anything like that in the beginning. So I would go out and I would connect with groups with kind of like-minded interests. I would go to major leaders pages. I'd connect with people there, just for the purpose of networking. And if it turned out that I had something to offer them that they needed, and I could present that as a solution, then we would have some kind of a transaction there. But you have to operate in social media in a social way. and you know, not quite such a you know, a business transaction kind of way. So and then when I kind of graduated over to doing paid advertising and using a fan page, I obviously had to keep the engagement levels up as well, because when you're doing paid advertising, especially when you're doing engagement ads, you're going to get more exposure and you're going to get a lot more bang for your buck, I guess, if you have a high level of engagement and fan following on your page. So, you know, that means paying attention a great deal to what your following is looking for and what they respond to. It involves asking a lot of questions and interacting when they respond on your posts, and, you know, going out and interacting as your page and things like that. So at the end of the day, it's all about authenticity, interaction, and engagement, and truly connecting with the people.
I love the way that you said that too, because you know, sometimes people forget, you know, we don't operate in a vacuum. We all have businesses here, and in order to have a successful business, you have to cultivate relationships with people. Hey, sweetie, I see you in the background. So I really love that you focus on that and elaborate on that a little bit. One of the things I wanted to ask you too, I'm home with my children, or one of them's home right now too, and he's 3, and he may be coming through the door any second here. How do you manage and balance your work life with your family? How does that work for you? Because I know that sometimes they can get blended. I'd love to hear you know, how that works for you. How do you make it work?
Hi, Cutie. She can introduce herself if she
has something to say.
To the girl with the red hair.
Hi.
I like your hair.
Thank you.
Look, I have a jewel.
And that's got to be the greatest part about working.
Oh, it's a jewel. It's a jewel. It's a jewel.
All right, sweetie. Mommy, finish
sorry.
up, okay?
Oh, she's fine. We don't have a problem with it. That's probably the most wonderful thing about this business in general, is the fact that we can still be with our families on a regular basis. If I had all 6
school today.
Yeah, if I had all 6 of my children here, grandchildren are the thing for me now. They tend to come running around every now and then, and ours, of course, you mentioned yours was sick today, so she stayed home. We had one that caught the flu and was run to ER yesterday, and just, you know, doing things all over that she shouldn't be. But you know, what do you do? At least you're there for them when you need to be, and that's probably the biggest lovely aspect of having your own home-based business like this. So.
It's a challenge. Okay, no, honey, we're not promoting our primary today, Sweet Pea. Go. Did you see that? Did you see what she just did?
I did. That's awesome. Oh.
She's on board, that's for sure.
I have a little asset developer here in the house. Anyway, yeah, it's a challenge. Even in this industry, working from home, there's still a struggle to establish boundaries for sure. But the freedom that's provided, the fact that I no longer have to worry about losing money because I have to stay home because she's sick. Or pass up on opportunities to go volunteer at her school, or just opportunities in general just to do things that I like to do. Like for instance, on Tuesdays I actually cater for a book club, and it's not a big money maker for me, but it's a thing that I started doing when she was a baby, and now that I'm doing this, I have time freedom. And so I can integrate those kind of things back into our lives. I can I can actually cook several meals a day, every day, and feed her healthy food. And it's just so difficult to do that when you're doing the 9-to-5 commuting and living the way that so many people are accustomed to. So the balance really comes in figuring out the best times to work and just taking advantage of those times. So like from 8 to 2, typically when she's in school, that's my time that I'm on the phone. And then of course in the evenings after she's in bed, that's when I'm working on content and also getting on the phone with my friends and teammates in Australia and the UK and the other side of the pond.
Right.
So we figure it out, and we fit in where we can.
I just want to touch on one thing you said there, Ashley, and it's obvious that now your schedule is much reduced to the point where it's controllable. But at some point in this, business opportunity that presented itself, it certainly was a lot of work, I would expect, to get to the point you're at now. Most people look at network marketing as some kind of get-rich-quick scheme, and I think we and ourselves and all of those involved with us have proven that it's not. Can you just touch on how much work it was in the beginning?
Well, I was someone who came in with no budget. I mean, I literally went into debt starting business. Like, I went out and got a credit card to get started. And so I didn't have an advertising budget, didn't know how to effectively advertise. And so I was just using my personal Facebook page. And I can tell you that because I was not putting in place leverage strategies like a fan page, like paid ads, like a blog and things like that, I had 12 and 14-hour days. I seriously, like, in order to hit the goals that I set for myself on a daily basis, to contact people, to make new connections, to get exposures for my primary business, in order to reach those, quite often I would have 12-hour days. Just sitting on the computer in front of Facebook. Now, granted, like, I certainly don't live like that anymore, no. And I've learned how and have plugged into the strategies through MLSP on how to actually leverage your time more effectively and to prospect more effectively. Because I did a lot of chasing back then too, but it's a learning curve. But by no means is it easy, but it can be made very effective if you plug in with the right people and the right resources.
Absolutely. Well, Julie, and we don't want to take up too much of your time today, Ashley. So, Julie, if you want to throw out a call to action to everybody, and then I'll wrap it up for today. So, Ashley can get back to her daughter, who's obviously sick today and needs her attention. So
she's not obviously sick. She's dancing Gangnam style over here.
That's a good point. I'll agree with you there. Did you have any other questions for her, Julie?
I didn't. I was on my end here, and I had a technical difficulty. I'm like, did they just lose me off that? I just stopped. I looked at the screen, and neither one of you guys are moving. And I was talking, and I said, "Oh no, I got bumped off here or something."
Oh, you're still here. We see you. Well, if you want to go ahead and ask her any final questions, and then I'll do the close and walk away, and we'll be all good with you, Ashley. We thank you again for coming back.
I would love to know, Ashley. Because you have such great goals, you're such a focused person, great energy. I would love to know where you see yourself in a year. I'd love to see that picture in your head.
Oh boy, in a year,
I'm sure there's going to be beaches involved.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I'm thinking about all of the things that I'm going to be hitting up until that year. So we've got, multiple trips planned already. I'm taking her to Disney for the first time. I fully expect to be out of student loan debt, for one.
Good deal.
Sorry. Baby, please, let me finish here. I expect to be out of my student loan debt, hit some of the top level positions in my primary that I'm shooting for, which actually should be happening in the next couple of months. So I don't know. Like right now, I'm taking my goals 1 week, 1 month at a time. But the long-term vision is to make this my first 6-figure year ever. And quite honestly, the first 6-figure year for really just about anyone in my immediate family. So it's a very, very big deal for us, for our family, for our extended family, and for me to be able to live and show her what's possible.
Right.
Sounds like a great answer to me. It looks like you've got a movie star in the background there.
Absolutely.
Definitely likes the camera. So.
I wish I could hear you better. I've got dog and child and a keyboard back here.
That's okay, Ashley. We understand. That's just the world we live in.
That's right.
Again, and on behalf of myself and Julie Becker, I just want to thank you for taking the time out of your busy day to come by and talk with us again today. It's been a wondrous, enlightening experience for me just to get to meet you in the first place. I see you out there posting on Facebook all the time, and I know we've touched base and liked each other's comments and responses in the past, but to put the face to the person is really always a good thing to see. So
yeah.
We'll see you out there for sure at MLSP. And
let's do this again sometime. I love it.
Well, yeah, and
Absolutely.
you've got a big thing going on tonight, don't you, at 9 o'clock?
Yes, actually, I'm helping my friend Justice Egan with his free webinar series, and so I'm actually going to be going pretty in depth with some basic Facebook pay-per-click strategies.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'll be jumping in on that one.
Yeah,
Good. Yeah, this is affordable and effective Facebook pay-per-click advertising.
well, let everyone on the way out at least announce who they are and where they're from. So, myself, Leland Best from Best at Last, and Julie and Ashley, go ahead from Julie's perspective first, where you guys come from, what your site name is, and we'll make sure that down below this promotion, we'll have everybody's links, and hopefully one for your little thing tonight. If I get this up online soon enough, Ashley, you'll have a link to the promo tonight. So,
Fabulous.
Julie, you are?
This is Julie Becker, my primary site. You can find out a little bit more about me at igetpaidonline.biz. I am down here in sunny Georgia, which has actually been quite cold here recently. My blood's gotten thin. You can probably tell by my accent. I'm originally from New York, but 45 degrees is a little cold for me now. But anyway, that's where I'm at. And go ahead, Ashley, let folks know where you're from and where we can find you.
I am right here in Huntsville, Alabama, born and raised. From Huntsville, Alabama, in spite of the fact that I don't have much of an accent either. And it's been unseasonably cold here, too. Below 60 is just way too much for me.
Yeah, that's just wrong.
And you guys can find me... I'm sorry. Go.
Oh, don't be.
And you guys can find me at facebook.com/follow Ashley.
All right.
Fabulous.
And from Owasso, Michigan, on our way out, this is Mind Over Money, everyone. So thanks for stopping by. Next time we come on the air, we're going to have David DeMarco, 3-time Emmy winner, who is also a member of MLSP, over there in Philadelphia doing his thing. So we can't wait to find out where his mindset was to earn himself those Emmys. And we'll see you guys on the flip side and on the inside. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Thank you, Ashley.
Well, there you have it once again, another episode with Leland Best of bestatLast.com and Julie Becker of igetpaidonline.biz, along with their special guest, Ashley Hendricks, who you can find at facebook.com/follow Ashley. Please take a moment to run through the information we've provided for you below this video, and don't hesitate to get in touch with either of our members that you may feel you could be comfortable working with. They would be happy to hear from you. Also, don't miss Ashley's webinar tonight, Monday, March 4th at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard by following the link below. See you on the inside. Meet you at the top.